Okay.
Time for the dope. Time for the dope.
Okay.
Ready for radio that's challenging, innovative, and encouraging? Tune in, Living for the People.
This is L. Nathan here. Join me right here, 91.3 FM WBNY. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. after Amy Goodman's Democracy Now! We'll provide objective analysis regarding current issues. Call 878-5104. It's Living for the People on 91.3 FM WBNY.
Latinas make history every day. Okay.
Can you read it for me?
Well, how do you say this one?
Latinas.
Latinas make history every day. Okay.
Happy Friday morning, everyone. This is Talia. It is another Friday morning here at SUNY Buffalo State University, 91.3 FM WBNY. We're super excited to have you this morning. We build space on Friday morning. Willie, my producer and co-host. Willie, you want to say hi?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talia Talks. We live, y'all.
We're live. So we build space every Friday to talk to diverse business and civic leaders. And I'm super excited because I have one such leader on the phone. Are you there?
I am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? I'm going to give you the floor so you can introduce yourself. I'm super excited. We may or may not have a very similar name. So I'm going to give you the floor and tell you how excited I am to have you.
Hi, yes, my name is Talia. It's actually pronounced just like yours. People call me Thalia, but it's actually Talia. And I am a local singer in Rochester, New York, with two local bands, Sonidos Unidos and Bachata Rebelde. And I'm also owner of a franchise, Get Sunmed, Your CBD stores in Arundecoit and East Rochester. I know we have actually 3 locations out there in the Buffalo area as well.
Wow,
no,
busy.
You don't.
Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
You go, girl.
So there is like 400 locations of the stores, but I own 2 of them.
Nice.
And here in Rochester, but a good friend of mine actually that got me in the business owns the Buffalo stores as well.
Well, I'm so grateful for you to spend time talking with us. You are, for me, a very shining example of the type of person that I would love to have in conversation privately. So it's a privilege to be able to share our conversation with our campus community and those off campus who are listening to us. So just for everybody who's tuning in right now, again, we're at 91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative. I think it was founded in 1982, either 82 or 87, but I'm really proud of the heritage here, and I'm really excited to talk about your leadership. So I'm building my journalistic and interview practice. I'm trying to stick to a certain set of questions. So my first question for everyone is always, can you say the name of the schools that you attended or any universities or school communities that you are in affiliation with?
Yeah, so I attended Monroe Community College. I have an associate's degree in science and human service.
Yay!
I didn't attend Brockport University in the social work program, but honestly, I didn't graduate. I have a few credits short. I sort of did a career change in my life and more, in the corporate world and business, kids and everything got in the way. So I do plan on going back, but I'm almost there. I have like maybe just my practice and maybe like 4 more classes left that I never finished. But so, my background is human service before anything. So I am, more always involved in the community and stuff like that.
Shout out to MCC and the amazing food work that they are doing there. I know that there are some really special people who are working to provide resources for students. I had the privilege to talk with them. I love community college. I actually went to community college. I went to St. John Fisher, but I went to ECC here over the summers so that I could graduate early. And then this is my first time telling this story at SUNY Buffalo State, but my last semester of undergrad, I think I was 19 years years old, and St. John Fisher has a program that they participate in called the SUNY Washington program, and it's at SUNY Brockport. So I actually enrolled at SUNY Brockport my last semester to go to DC, and I was an intern in Washington, DC. So SUNY takes people amazing places. We're not going anywhere. So we will have you back, Talia, on behalf of all of us. We're so excited, and I'm really, really proud of you and super excited to talk about how your human service informed the type of business that you want to be in, your passion, and kind of like how you built out your franchise. So my next question is, can you say a little bit about your business or what's unique about your business or business practice and or your artistry, like whichever one you want to lead with, because I think they're both equally as important.
So with my business, I would start there. It's still, helping people. So a lot of people have a lot of misconception about CBD, thinking it's marijuana, that people want to have psychoactive effects and everything, which is the complete opposite. CBD is a natural anti-inflammatory. So we teach people. We're more of an education store. So we don't push people. Be like, we try to educate what to look for. So there's so much, it's so new in the market and marijuana being legalized. So our job is to basically educate people. What is CBD? What does it do for your body? The difference between, the different hemp plants, the marijuana plant. So it's more educating. Like, this is more of a natural approach. It's not, you're not getting, high or anything like that. So a lot of people, especially older people, like, we try to guide them. There's products that have no forms of THC in it, but we just try to educate people on, like, it's not just something that you're taking just for for pain. It helps with your whole like endocannabinoid system, and not to get too in
oh, don't worry, my sister's an RN. I'm here for it.
Okay,
but no, but what yeah, go ahead.
On CBG, CBN, so more of like, the plant synergy. So it's more of an educational. So we provide free samples in any of the 400 stores. We all all of our stuff is formulated by a PhD chemist. We're the first USDA organic certified CBD company. So, our company is like, it's been around. It started with, the owner, Rachel Quinn, that she had Crohn's disease and CBD completely. She tried everything. It turned her life around. She opened one store in Bradenton. Then a friend opened another one and a friend. And actually one of those friends was my ex-boss. And that's actually how I got in the business. And it grew so big that it did become a franchise last year. So we were just all individual owners with the goal of educating, more for a healthy living style without all the, the medications. And again, there's nothing wrong with
right.
medications, but, they do have a lot of side effects. So this, it's not a fix for all. Hey, this is not a cure for all. This is just more educating that this could be something more natural if you've tried so many things, and along the way, with anxiety, with sleep issues, with and neurological effects and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Willie, did you have a reflection?
No.
Okay.
I'm just listening to her. I mean, she's very accomplished, and I'm blown away. Store she got now. What's the name of the store again?
So they're called Your CBD Store.
Okay.
Oh, Your CBD. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's one that's called Your CBD Store, Williamsville. One's called Vestal.
Yeah,
the other one, like
Okay.
mine is Arundequoit. Mine's East Rochester.
Yeah,
So-
you're gonna make a lot. She's
Where
gonna make
I shout out to East Rochester.
lots of money,
Yeah.
girl. Anybody that's in the CBD, lots of money, get more stores.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I took over the East Rochester
Nice.
store in January.
Very
So
nice.
and actually, the company is sort of moving forward and to a wellness center. So we're not
Right.
only going to carry only CBD
Very
again
nice.
when we first opened, but right now we're the company is growing. It sort of started backwards. It started from the CBD perspective, but now it's going through the all healthy health. Like we have a weight loss that's called Trim that went through a clinical trial. We're actually the national sponsors of the pickleball. Like we have.
Oh, that's so
pain
fun.
relief cream.
Stop it. Okay, wait. There's a couple things. One, I want to say I am so incredibly impressed with you because when I looked
Thank
at your branding and when I thought about interviewing you, and shout out to Kelly, and oh, I'm going to get the name of the soccer team wrong, but I think it's the Rochester City Flowers, the soccer team that she supports. Thalia, I was so excited because your branding is so perfect and you have this very strong image of you powerfully singing. Now, my grandmother was a singer and I really understand that singing is part of healing. So I really see you as someone who has like kind of this healing and like human services practice. But now to understand that you are this franchise business owner and that you have these insights into cutting edge health and, diet and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh my goodness. I'm I'm so impressed, but I also know, and correct me if I'm wrong, is MCC developing curriculum and programming and classes around, I feel like there's an economy and science into kind of more deeply exploring some of these issues? Because I know some of the SUNYs have been doing that. But my one question before I just go on to talk about how impressed I am by you is, when you think about your kind of your dual identities and being an artist and being a business owner, how do they play into each other?
So, again,
or is it the same? It's just a different business.
Well, it's a little bit different because nobody knew that I actually sang.
Right.
So I am not actually a trained singer. I love to sing since I was a little girl, and I just sing. My sister was actually the one who was pursuing the singing career, and she's like, "Oh, Talia, I need a backup singer." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." It was a bit more of a wedding band, pop band. My good flavor of music is actually R&B.
Oh,
that's realistically what I like to, what I started singing, Tina Turner, and stuff like that, Whitney Houston. So again, the singing sort of, I say I've been blessed, and by God with it, because I just sang one time, with her. Then me and my sister sang. Then my sister moved to Fort Lauderdale. Life happened.
Right. Shout out to all the sisters and cousins in Florida.
Yes. And then my brother's he's actually the director of my band. So we're a sibling band.
Oh, so stop.
He went to the University of Miami and graduated with a degree in music business.
Okay, and then say your brother's name.
His name is Julio Pabon.
Shout out to Julio. Thank you so much for bringing your family legacy to like our radio. That's so cool that you guys do that together.
Hey, Talia, are you bit like Selena or not?
That's exactly what my thought was.
That was Selena, right?
Did I sing Selena? Yeah, I could sing. I sing anything.
No, but in the sense that like you have a very bubbly, dynamic, like Selena, beautiful energy. You really do. Like you're coming right off the line. We talk to people every week, so please take our word for it. I'm sorry, did not mean to interrupt you. Tell us more about your family business, and then please remind us of the names of the band.
No, yes. So, one of the bands is Sonidos Unidos. It's more of a salsa band. So we do merengue, bachata. And then my newest project is Bachata Rebelde, which is more of a bachata and merengue. But my style is a little bit different because I am more R&B and singing. And hold on one second.
Yeah, she just performed. Matter of fact, guys, if you guys didn't know, she just performed before she even came up on this show. She was doing her thing. Go ahead.
And I performed at the Puerto Rican Festival. I actually performed there twice, and then I'm actually releasing my solo single on September 2nd.
Very nice.
And it's called Yo Soy Latina. So that song is more embodying I recorded it in Puerto Rico, and I actually been blessed with a grant from Creative New York. So they're actually sponsoring my project. And then I have a nonprofit here, Grupo Cultural Latino Rochester, that's actually sponsoring me. So they're actually pushing me to do a documentary recording my life story. So that's going to be fun, and that's going to be released next year. So I'm doing a few things. So it's more people pushing me, be like, hey, I never thought this was going to be my career. Honestly, I just okay, I like to sing. Yeah, I can go sing here. My brother's like, I need a singer. I'm like, sure, I'll go sing. Everybody with the salsa, they're like La India.
You have La India. Es la pelo. And then you just have this beautiful energy like she does. And I think in order to lead a crowd, and Willie can speak more to this because Willie is a professional producer and stuff, but I think to lead a crowd, even if you are a talented singer, you need a certain type of energy to know how to engage people. Yeah. And I'm such a dork. Please forgive me, but I don't know if you know who Dolly Parton is, but she has a documentary. Stop playing with me. I love Dolly. And she has she has a documentary on Netflix, and they talk about how that's part of her genius, being able to engage with people. And I see that in you. So tell us how people can support you. That's always my next question. We obviously want to follow you. If you can remind them what your Instagram is. We're live on Instagram. I'll be sharing this and other places, obviously on YouTube. But for those who are listening on campus, on the radio, and then also if you could tell us the next time that you'll, like you said, your release, and the next time you'd want us to tune in to catch what you are doing.
Yeah, I want to see you live also.
So I am actually going to do a India tribute on October 21st. So, and that's more of a fundraiser to finish my album. So I started it. Now it's more, it does cost, a good amount of money, to get arrangements. And I did collaborate with like Johnny Rivera, which he's a famous salsa singer in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
and
cool.
I've been blessed to, Richard Marcel. He records with all the famous, Olga Tañón and everything. So right now, I have a lot of people helping push me, like Victor Antonetti. He's a big, he has the longest standing in Rochester.
Okay, I think I know someone from his family, Daytuan Antonetti. I feel like he's related to them because he worked with me on my team at Say Yes. That family, I feel like, is so well known across the entire region. Shout out to Daytuan.
Oh, no, definitely. That's a big family, and I'm more than, grateful and blessed to, work with them. Because in the beginning, when you start doing it, it's like, you don't know what you're getting into. Like with Sonidos Unidos, it was just me and my brother say, hey, we could pull a show together.
Mm-hmm.
It was more just to prove, hey, we could do it. So we did it, but then, we'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary next year with that band.
Oh, wow.
So, we've been blessed. The community, I get a lot of support, and I think a lot of the reason I continue to do it is because I do see that, again, I was a mentor. I have done in the past, human service, HIV, prevention. A lot of people that did know me from the community work, they follow me, like a lot of the young girls. I'm actually going to mentor one of my students that's actually nice. A singer that she used to, sing R&B. And I used to tell her, I used to do all the festivals. She's like, I didn't even know you sang. I'm like, I really didn't. I'm like, I've been blessed with the voice, but it wasn't something that I wanted, something that I wasn't pursuing at the time.
Right.
Now it's just like, hey, Talia, you have the talent, you have the ability. And again, I really enjoy it. Like you said, it helps me. It's what keeps me sane.
It's a healing thing, too.
Right,
like, you're bringing an experience to the crowd.
Right.
And then, I've grown so much. And, the documentary is going to explain more about my life. As growing up. I was born in Puerto Rico. I lived back
Okay, what part of Puerto Rico
Florida,
were you born in?
En Rio Piedras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. They already know the vibes. That's where my son's grandma is from. So
okay, yeah. So
yes.
Most of my family lives in Puerto Rico. So again, with the music video, it is sponsored by a grant. So that's going to be released on September 2nd, which I'm super excited about. And the first preview is going to be at Nazareth College, actually.
Oh, how fun!
Yep,
that's across the street from my school.
Yep, so it's going to be at the Gallahan Theater, and again, it's not just me. So I'll be opening up the showcase. So there's 5 other Latin artists that received this grant. So
cool.
We have Carla from Alma de Mexico. We have Jessica, Carlos, my brother Julio.
Willie, would you want to interview them, the other artists?
You read my mind, girl. Listen, no. What I want
interview them?
What I want to do as soon as she finished that record, I want to have her on my show. I have a show Saturday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on 91.3 FM, and we do the radio. So also we stream. Probably use StreamYard.
No, and you are important because I'm trying to get on his show, but he's booked. So for you, he's open, and that's a blessing. But for me, he's like, oh, hold on, because we have another show between the three of us of our friends.
I'm going to have you on the show, but I usually take singers. I usually take singers.
Go ahead.
And she has a great story too.
Stop it. And go visit both of you.
Yes, no, you're very loved. We would love to have you in studio, but very seriously, if you could give some time to Willie literally was just at the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Were you not, Willie?
Yeah, I was there. I was in the Bronx, New York. Me and my crew, we had an old crew in the 80s that DJ, with Grandmaster Flash and them. And
nice. See, that's my era. Yeah. People live 2-year-old daughter. I'm not that young.
But you look like you're like 18 years old. Like in your Facebook photo, I was like, okay. And that's why I was so grateful. Go ahead, William.
I'm looking at the picture and I get that Selena vibe with her. And then the story, and I'm so proud of you. First of all, Thalia, I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you because you accomplished. You got streams of income, CBD. I know you're going to be filthy rich. You're pursuing your talent, and it shows that God makes room. Your talent your gift will take you to great places, and He's doing that with you. I see that. That's why I really want you on the show because of what he's been doing in your life.
That.
Yeah.
And shout out to go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to shout out to all the SUNY Latinas. Like, you went to MCC, like all our community schools are part of our SUNY family. And like, I'm just really proud of you and of all the other people that I know who have gone to MCC and used it as a springboard for their leadership.
And Talia, actually, I have to say, I've been following you too. You actually popped up on my Facebook one day. I'm like, oh, look, her name is Talia. I'm like, I started following you, and I've seen all the stuff that you're doing. I've seen actually more of your documentary, and actually, I want to do something like that too. Because my documentary is going to be about my singing, but it's going to be about my life. Like, I've endured a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Like, we were homeless. I have, I have a story to tell.
Yeah. See, those are stories I want on my show. That's why you got to be on my show.
Point. Yes. Anytime. Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very blessed. For those of you who haven't seen it, I am an alumni of SUNY Buffalo Law and SUNY Buffalo University. They made what's called True Blue. So there's an amazing series, and SUNY, I feel like, as all across, we're trying to like make engaging content where people are looking at it and like talking with us. So check out the SUNY Instagram account and stuff. But that was a really distinct pleasure, and I've tried to watch all of this episodes after. I know Craig Hanna was on one. I think he does Bunkers to Baghdad, or I'm thinking of the right person, but there was another person who he's a photographer. So I just feel really lucky to have found myself at SUNY, and that's what's gotten me on the radio. So I want to build some time to talk about two things, right? I want to talk about the multiple streams of income that you've employed to sustain being an artist and making your impact on our local community. We have the Western New York, Puerto Rican, and Hispanic Day Parade this weekend, and there's an entire economy that's built around that event. And I know that obviously you're very aware of that because you're part of that in Rochester. And shout out to our Grand Marshal, Crystal Rodriguez, is super exciting because like she's worked really hard on the parade. But Talia, when you think about all the different things you've had to do to put together the financing to be present as an artist, like what was that one thing that motivated you to say, okay, I'm going to get some from here, I'm going to get a grant, I'm going to do this? Like, what made you feel like you want to share your voice?
Right.
Me, like, always since I've been young, since I've had to push myself to, again, want more, be more, because I had the same opportunities in buddy. I lived in poverty because, that's something that I can't deny. Yeah. But my desire to want more and continue to push more for everything that I wanted. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just reflecting on what you're saying. I think that I find you very inspiring, and you're definitely a blessing. So when you think about what your impact has done for the people that have been a part of the circles of business, whether it be in artistry or in the health focus and fitness that you're like venturing in, how many people are in those business circles that you've either employed or your talents have supported, like their talents or their businesses?
Talia, I
think she's gone.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. Maybe she
probably had to take a pause.
Yeah, pause.
But I'm probably thinking the number's thousands for anyone that has a band.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, as you can tell, my voice is high. I'm excited just to, that you have.
It's your Starbucks, Willie.
It might be that too.
I mean, maybe put extra honey in there or something.
Too. But Talia, I hope she's still here. But just to know that, she's pursuing her gift, her career. But not only that, she's building, like she said. And for many of us, you got to pursue, you got to realize there's more. I remember there was one day, just recently, I woke up and I say, I'm rich. As soon as I said that, a few minutes later, I found $20 on the floor. And then another day I found $20. And then I got mail telling me you got money. And so you got to pursue. That has to be the mindset of, I'm going to go get what God has for me. Yeah. And as soon as you make up your mind, it's for you, then it starts to come. And I'm starting to slowly see. So like Thalia, she made that choice of, I got to get what God has for me. I want to get more. And as you can see, she's being blessed. Thalia, you still there?
I am so sorry. I am
No,
there.
you're fine. You don't have to be
still running a
sorry.
business at the same time.
No, you're fine.
I just had a customer.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, no, that's wonderful. We're just talking about your impact and how impressed we are with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, like, going back to your question, it's just more of, trying to, like when I was growing up, I had a younger brothers and sisters, nieces and nephew. And again, we went through our share of, hardships, but that doesn't define you. It's more what you want to do. I went to school as an adult after I had my, my first child, and that didn't stop me. And again, I have been blessed because I am more of a go-getter. I'm very street smart. I'm like, I like to get things done, with my business, in CBD. That was something completely new. I'm like, I'm not selling CBD. That wasn't like, I'm like, what? Like, when I was approached with the opportunity, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I like to help, I'm, more youth development and stuff like that.
Ain't you glad you did it though?
Corporate meeting planner.
Talia, ain't you glad you got into it though?
Oh, I'm very glad. I actually, I'll be celebrating 5 years next year.
Yeah.
So I got in early in the game. People will look at me like, you're crazy. Why would you sell? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, there's an opportunity again, because I have to say, and actually he's from Buffalo. His name is Tim Upthegraph. He's my mentor. I actually was his personal assistant. Like he worked for Kirby, yes, and selling vacuum cleaners, multimillionaire.
Wow.
And he
interesting.
Wow.
Pushed me, and he calls me, hey, did you do this? Are you doing this? So he still gives me that push as an entrepreneur, as a professional. So it's more having a look for somebody that actually pushes you. Like my brother, if it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't be singing anything.
Yeah, no, that's
thank
incredible.
God for your brother. Yeah,
I also have someone in my family that motivated me to kind of share my voice, and I kind of first ventured in as a columnist. So for those of you who are listening who don't know, I write a column called Latina History, and I feature different women every month. And I have the privilege of being circulated in Panorama Hispano, Buffalo Latino Village, La Última Hora, and CNY Latino newspaper, which covers Central New York. And if I didn't have people in my family, specifically my brother, who had like pushed himself out there as an artist, I don't think I would have been brave enough to get behind the microphone. I did want to comment though, being that we are Puerto Rican, I think that there's probably kind of, for me as a historian, which no one wants to hear about this, and I said this in my prior show, no one ever wants to hear about history, Talia, but from an indigenous perspective, I think hemp is something that, archaeology will show that Taínos utilized both as a medicine and as a practical, material. So I think a lot of times when we explore our relationship with like medicine or the things that make us feel good, we often find that like there were other healers or medical people or artists in the line. So I'm sure that there is a bright path ahead of you. And for those who are listening, in your future with your business, specific with the CBD that you were talking about, and the other things that you're doing related to health and fitness, what is your future? And is there someone specifically, I know you mentioned your mentor, that you would like to collaborate with?
So we collaborated with, again, I think with my mentor, he's the one who pushes me. And again, the multiple streams of income is something that we're really not taught in school, growing up. Right. So, like to me, when I worked a 9-to-5 job, I thought that was it. I'm working human service and everything. But then, you have all the conflicts of everybody knowing who do you know, because it happens everywhere. It's just knowing that you don't have to be stuck in one bubble.
Right.
Like, I didn't even think singing was going to make me money. Like it was my hobby. Like some people pursue it. To me, it was just more like an escape for myself. It was a hobby, but now it's becoming my job. It is my job at that,
right.
So it's something like, but at the same time, I always keep that one thing in mind. It's just like, what, if you're not having fun, if you're not doing it from your heart,
right.
then I don't want to do it. The same thing with the CBD store. I obviously have to run a business and I need income, but I also get, my gratification is that I know that person is getting it's getting well, being healthy naturally,
Right.
and that I'm making a difference by educating them. Like if you walk in any of my stores, I don't push. I educate, and you know what? I give you a little gift bag. Why don't you try those samples and then come back and see if it works?
Right.
Because it's more like I prefer to build those relationships and people to remember me. It's like, you know what? She genuinely cared what's wrong with me. Not that I'm pushing, here, take this and take that, because there's certain CBD is not for everybody.
Right.
It's not.
Hey, Talia, are you married?
I am.
Oh, shucks. All right, go ahead.
And the way that you say that, you sound so proud of your spouse. So I'm going to ask you a question, or I was just going to say something in response. I think the part of me that makes me actually open to learning more about different types of healing practice is actually my faith, because I know that I have such an acute interest in science, and so does my son. My son actually has an ebook, and it's coming out. We're going to be celebrating National Latino Physicians Day as a part, and I'd love to share that with you as a part of Hispanic heritage here. And science is so important, and it's so important that we use data and new cutting technologies and innovation to inform us. But I feel like there's also other parts of people's healing journeys, like faith, and people who are really strong Christians who I've seen inside the Pentecostal church have really used faith to transform their healing journey. And I feel like that's what makes me more open to learning about things that are maybe non-traditional, because I've seen faith really shake people's lives and have like an impact. So thinking about that, and thinking about those who are listening who don't know, you can follow Willie at Gospel Party. What's that, Willie?
The Gospel Party 716. Here live on 91.3 FM WBNY every Saturday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Also, you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever.
And Talia, I did that because Willie's a man of faith, and that's part of what we have in common here in this space. But thinking about that and thinking about all that you're bringing to people's healing journey, the information, the access, the resource, the cultural competency, how is the information that you're delivering or the environment that you're delivering, because of the unique challenges that you've had in your life, different or unique or special or personalized because you're building it? Do you understand my question? Is it a good one?
So,
I feel like it's friendly because your spirit is friendly. Like I feel like I feel like you're not going to be mad if someone says no.
No, and I won't. And and I've learned that, before. I think it's, as I'm 42 years old. So as you grow older, I think, when I was 20, you probably asked me the question, and I probably was trying to figure that out. But now, I'm in a good place in my life that, I feel like I'm a good mentor to other people, that I feel like if people genuinely come approach me, even my customers, they don't know me. They don't know my background as human service. They don't know much about me, but they're attracted by, they come and listen, talk about their problems to me. So like my space, and when they come here, I sort of feel like it's, once you get to, to know me specifically, it's just more like they're comfortable because I'm genuine. I'm nice, and I'm going to tell you, this is what I feel. Like some people walk in here, tell me, it's actually not going to work for you. I'm not here trying to, to make a dollar or two. I'm just here more and give them my sincere response of this is what I believe, this is what I recommend. And even as a singer, I get a lot of people attracted to me just because, when I'm on the stage, I'm not your traditional singer. I sing from my heart. Some people will love it. Some people will hate it. I have I'm learning in the last year with this journey, with this grant, I've learned that I don't know how to pronounce my R's correctly when I'm in a recording studio. I've learned, in Spanish, if you ask my producer, he wants to yank he doesn't have no hair, but if he had hairs, he wants to yank them all out. And so I'm still growing. I'm still learning, and I'm very sincere and open about it. Like, a lot of people how did you get from not being professionally trained? A lot of singers been singing read a music note.
Right.
I could hear it, and I could feel it, and I could actually sing it a lot better than the average singer just because, I put that effort and time. It is hard, and it's something that I'm learning. So I'm re-educating myself now as an older, adult rather than learning this stuff when I was young. So it's never too late to step back and be like, okay, like I was embarrassed, honestly, when I used to, when I was approached by other singers and bands because I didn't understand the language. But now, 10 years after, I'm the directors of the band.
Yeah, no, and what you said is something that is very significant and I think just touched my heart and likely the heart of many people who are listening. First of all, I learned how to read first in Spanish. So then they taught me English. Then they're like, okay, you're going to learn how to read music. And I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm working on these 2 other languages. I'm struggling in both. And here's this thing. And it's like circles and all this other thing. And I'm neurologically diverse, I say, but that's not the term that people use often to identify people who have learning styles like mine and abilities like mine. But you talking about your talent and how you didn't want to share that you lacked part of that literacy in music is why I'm so excited to interview you, because that's so authentic. I mean, you can listen to your voice and hear you're talented, but that classical training and that also that business acumen that is needed to have a successful performing brand, you're bringing all of it, and I'm just so grateful you shared that.
Awesome.
Because I had to quit violin.
Yeah,
I really did.
Hey guys, before you guys go on, I'm so privileged. You are some bad sisters. Let me just say
you're the co-host and the producer.
No,
so you have 2 jobs here.
No. You guys, God has given, and I got to Talia, both of you guys. Talia, you are my host. I'm talking about you now. You have grown so much in the last year. I'm like looking at you. You doing this interview. It's like you've been doing this for 20 years.
Well, we do have the privilege every Friday.
Wow, I know, but you have come so long. Now I feel like an amateur looking at you, the way you do the interviews, the questions. But I'm so proud of you, Talia. And Talia, the other Talia in Rochester, I'm proud of you too for going out, getting that money, getting that, they say that bag. Streams of income, following your skill and talent, and God's giving you that gift, and that's what God always wants us to concentrate on is that gift, because that gift will make room for us and make us what He meant us to be. So I'm so proud of you guys.
I agree, and you just got to follow. And sometimes even when you're reluctant to follow certain things, because I fought entrepreneurship, I'm not going to even deny it. I fought singing. I fought a lot of stuff when I was younger, and thank God that I did have people, to push me like, hey,
that makes the difference.
Again, it's more of a confidence, more of a self, thing that you have to look within yourself. I've always been strong-minded. Don't get me wrong. I'm Mother Goose of my family, so I've always had that strength of me to push everybody forward and everything. But it was just more. I felt like it was a job. And now it's that I'm realizing, even with singing, it's nerve-wracking sometimes because when I get on that stage, believe it or not, I always get the butterflies. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so anxious. But, even being able to, and when I present this music video, it is talking about being a strong Latina. So it's more to push people. Yes, I'm Puerto Rican, and I did shoot most of it in the beautiful beach and everything because that was great.
Were you in Rio Negras? Did you go back to the barrio with the camera team and be like,
yes,
llegué yo?
And then, so it's more, talking about, I like, my culture, but it's not just, just because I'm Puerto Rican. I don't care if you're Mexican, Colombian, from Panama. We're all Latinas. We're all strong. We have to stick together. So that's the message that I want to, push forward. And again, hey, let's see if I could win a Grammy or something.
You will, girl. You will.
Give it back to the nonprofit, because this is a Grupo Cultural Latino is the one who
Talia, talk to us about them for people who don't know. Can you say a little bit?
Cultural Latino, Evelyn D'Agostino is the one who's in charge. So what they do is bring all the traditional. She's from Panama, so we have Alma de Mexico, like they're showing like more the Mexican culture is to keep the culture alive and teach people and younger people. It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic or not Hispanic. To every culture, it's more of a presentation. So the September 2nd concert. So yes, I'm going to release. It's going to be the first time anybody could see the video. So I'm not even releasing it on social media that day. I'm only releasing it at that program because they're the ones that gave me the opportunity. But then you're also going to see there is Joel. He's a baton twirler, a famous baton twirler that's coming from New York City. Then there's a Mexican band that's coming from Mexico. So it's going to be it's more showing of our all of our projects and what we've been working on. And so that will be September 2nd at the Nazareth Gallahan Theater. And then after that, again, I'll be performing. You know, I do perform at the Placita in local areas around here as well.
That's in Rochester, right, Talia?
It is in Rochester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and then I could send you information as well if anybody's interested. It's called the Latinx Celebration Project.
Yeah, please send it to us. And again, I think I mentioned we have the Puerto Rican Hispanic Day Parade here.
I actually sing in that one every year.
No,
this year.
You didn't.
Are you going to be here?
I was just going to say.
I am not this year. Actually, Yolanda Martinez, and she's the one who always contracts me. Great, beautiful person. She's in charge of, I believe she's the, I don't want to say president, something about, she's been a long
she's
term
a boss
there. Yeah, so she's awesome. She has us, and Wilmer and Pucho over there.
Oh, so that's wonderful that you know everyone. I was gonna say,
I have to perform in Buffalo every year. This year's the only year I haven't been out to Buffalo.
I gotta wait a year.
For the past 4 to 5 years, I actually I've performed at the Puerto Rican Parade Festival and at El Palo Encebado, the Grease Pole. Because I was part of the other group, AJADS, as well. But
right, because I'm like, why do I know your face? And then I've heard your name before, so that makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, I'm always in Buffalo.
Well,
yeah,
thank you so much.
This year, I've been trying to. Again, I'm working on my own project, so I had to step down just to focus a little bit this year and try to focus on what I have to do as an individual artist, because it's sort of just again, it was a blessing in disguise. They're like, hey, you know what, we're going to do this, and we're going to help you push your song. I purchased the song like 3 years ago until I realized how expensive it was to actually record and looking for the right people to collaborate in your project, because anybody could record a song.
Right.
It's more what are you going to do with it? What message are you trying to get across? Is it just for yourself? And again, for me, it's my legacy to leave to my children and my family, but at the same time I want to push my leadership skills and push with the documentary. It's just like you don't have to have this background. It doesn't matter if it's entrepreneurship or as a singer, you still could push forward. Don't let your circumstances or your current circumstances define you in your future. We all have the same opportunity. It's just more how you seek it and how you go towards it.
Yeah.
Well, Talia, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give your name to record company Fadi Records. That's my cousin, and he likes people like you, like you. He what he does is create. He has new artists do older songs. So I'm going to give him your number, your contact, because I'm going to have you on my show, and he might want to do something with you, Fadi Records.
Okay,
so
cool.
I'll let him know about you.
Yeah,
I greatly appreciate that.
So
then
go ahead.
And, the question you asked me before, I had a customer, and, how could people support me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, it's by supporting Grupo Cultural Latino. It is a nonprofit, and the money will go back to my project. I'm trying to finish my album up. So, again, the shows like the India Tributes, it is to fund the rest of my project and to help the documentary, too, for me to be able to finish the documentary. So it's not something, hey, I'm making money off. It's going right back into the project. And then so with the Grupo Cultural Latino, they have so many different, youth projects, kids products. A lot of them, it's more youth. So there's going to be youth dancing on that day as well. So it's not just more about, hey, help her, give her money for her to finish her music album. It's more towards the whole group as well.
Well, I was just going to say how grateful I am for all of the people that you had mentioned, for building a robust economy and event cycle around Latino artistry. I was literally going to joke and say if there's anything Irish classical theater taught me, because I'm actually biracial, and I know that for me, being able to be a part of the arts community here, we have September 15th, I think we have the launch for our Hispanic Heritage Group, and there's always here, I think in part because of Casimiro's leadership, but also because we love the arts in Buffalo. I feel like we're very artsy, as very East Ave vibes all the time. But
I performed for you guys at LASA.
Yeah,
University of Buffalo, a few times actually.
Exactly. So for me as someone who is biracial, being able to see dancers and being able to hear music and learn about the culture through that lens, I think has just been an incredible privilege. And I realize as a business person, as someone who is part of what I call community and university media, supporting festivals and these theaters and nonprofits that build our arts and cultural community, including people like ASI, art support or Art Supports Initiative, like it's a year-round thing. So thank you so much for being part of that. And I'm really excited to have talked with you to learn a little bit about your journey. I want to ask you 2 questions as we close this space. Today's actually the last day of summer lunch for me. It's part of the project that I work on. So I'm really excited. I have some little guys and some rockets to build. But I did want to ask you kind of 2 things. One, I wanted to ask you about your single. I'm really excited to talk about the message. I know you said you purchased the song and it was something that you made 3 years ago, but when you think about releasing it, what is like the message that you want people to get about you or your artistry, or about Rio Piedras, which obviously is a historian and someone from a public health perspective. There's a lot that's special about women from that place and what you all have endured. We won't go into that, but I feel like you bring so much dynamic energy to music. Like, what do you want to share with your album? And then the last thing that I would ask you as we close this space is like, what advice you would have for a young person who is trying to share their talent, but maybe feels discouraged or unseen?
So with the Yo Soy Latina, I'll start there.
Okay.
What I actually want to make it like a more of an anthem, like for people to reclaim their heritage,
So cool.
and and love and respect themselves as a Latina. So it doesn't matter where you are, from you could be the richest woman to the poorest woman. It doesn't matter. We share one thing, is that we're Latina, and I just want to make sure that like people realize how powerful we could be, and as a woman itself. Yes, Latina, I'm proud to be a Latina, because you know what, we endure different things than other people, but it doesn't matter. As a woman, you want to make sure that that you're always strong and that you could push forward. So I just want, when I heard the song originally, because I didn't write the song, but I heard it and I'm like, you know what, I feel it. Like, it's funny, because I showed it to my brother. He's like, oh, that song is cheesy. But it wasn't.
Shout out to all the brothers who say immediately what they think, right?
Well, yeah, you need that. You need that too.
No, and which is okay. That's why me and him work so well together.
Absolutely.
Because, we come to a medium, but it's just like, I'm like, because you're not listening to me sing it. And I'm like, that's, he heard a guy singing it. His name is Pedro Jesus. He's actually the writer. So it's like, and when he heard it, he's like, oh, whatever. I'm like, Hula, you don't understand. I'm like, I feel it. I'm like, you know what? It's showing. And I'm like, I'm a strong-willed. I'm I come out to be strong, but I'm probably the biggest teddy bear in the world. I'm very nice. Some people be like, ooh, she's a little bit stuck. I'm not stuck up at all. I'm actually nice. I will give you anything that I have if I'm able to. So, but when you listen to that song, it's more anthem that's reclaiming, like, my heritage, fostering unity through love and respect, and that we're all united.
I love that.
Advice I would give to young people.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Don't give up. If you know you have a talent, pursue it. Because sometimes our ambition sometimes goes away when we don't have the ability and the mentorship. I never had a mentor in music growing up, because I didn't. My sister was, again, she was the singer, which I love incredibly, because if it wasn't for her passion, I probably would have the passion that I have now, with singing. And it's more her. She's like, hey, come on, do it.
Right.
Do it. I need you. And, it's more of the push. So it's more, don't give up, even if it's as an artist, but even as a young person that's struggling and everything, there is people out there that want to help you. Just open, your mouth, because a lot of young kids don't have anybody. They don't know how to articulate what, what their needs are and what their passion is, and start young. I wish if I would have started young, I would probably could do a lot of more things, but it's never too late. Even if you're a young adult, 20-something, I started singing at 30.
I love that.
So it's not about when you do it. It's just not giving up at the time that you're ready to do it. Maybe I wasn't ready at 15.
Right. You learned a lot more by the time you.
Exactly. So, my kids, like my 22-year-old daughter, I tell her all the time, it's just like, you have to push. She's right now, she's in and going for nursing school. She runs the store with me, so I'm teaching her different things.
Oh, we're so proud
Awesome.
of her. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Very
so she's going to school to push.
Where is she
herself,
going to school? Do you feel comfortable saying?
Yeah, she goes to MCC. She was at.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep, she's at MCC right now, so she graduates with her RN. She did start at Brockport, however, COVID online learning wasn't for her. So, and I told her, I'm like, my MCC is a great school, and you're going to get the same education, especially for nursing.
Absolutely.
So it's like, hey, a little bit cheaper to go over here.
Yeah, community college is a place of high academic rigor. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity, and I think for us and for you, like, you provide an amazing opportunity for other women. I remember when I was at Fisher, just being astounded by the way that the Ibero League and others lifted up women in Rochester.
For Ibero and PRYD for 10 years.
Did you really?
I did. I worked for, it was Puerto Rican Youth Development at that time. Then Ibero took over it. So it was probably my favorite job in the world, honestly.
So you know everyone I know then. I'm so proud to have interviewed you, Talia.
Yeah, Hilda Rosario, like, she was the CEO when I worked there. And then, Nancy Padilla. I've known a lot of people in the community, and I respect them highly. And again, one day, if I do make it, my dream is to create a musical youth center.
Oh my gosh, you anticipated my next question. Okay, go ahead. So a musical youth center, and then we're just going to close the space in a little bit, but just wanting to give you time to talk about your vision, and also just wanting to acknowledge, like, Ice Spice. I don't know. Do you know who she is, the singer, Ice Spice? She's a singer, but she actually went to SUNY too. And she's like doing really well. So just wanting to acknowledge, like, all the dynamic SUNY women who are out there making amazing moves in music, specifically Latinas. Yeah, no, I'll share some music with you. So as we're closing the space and we're talking about you and your leadership, right? So you're making an impact in human services and health by sharing information. You have this amazing, authentic leadership that you're bringing to business, and a beautiful branding that I think is really, from the time that we spent together, really centered on, like, your dynamic energy and, like, how generous you are. So, like, thinking about like your future again in both of those areas, wanting people to follow you and stuff like that, seeing those two things join, we're talking about wanting to make this advocacy center, right? And it's based on arts.
So arts, youth development, even, young kids, like, I used to work in the county jails, pre-trial services. I think an all-around rap center, but, focus more on youth. Like, right now, like, when I worked at the at Puerto Rican Youth Development, there were so many resources that they could go there, but it included us teaching culture. It included us, mentoring them. It included us having a food, bank. So it's an all-inclusive, so wraparound service. Obviously, music, will be a big, but even sports. So my vision is more like, to build a youth center in the middle that you could connect everything that a person, a young person will need, from music, from, again, mental health, a little bit of everything all together in the same place, but they have somewhere they could turn to get all those services, that you're not, hey, I'll refer you here, I'll refer you here, I'll refer you here, which, unfortunately, you could only do what you could do. But my vision would be more, hey, focus on the arts, focus on the, on anything that they have going on in their life, even the lack of parents or anything like that. So just an overall center that you could connect and that they could feel safe in going to. Right now, I don't feel like that doesn't exist. Like, you could just go, hey, let me stop by here and just stop to talk to somebody. Talking is, that's right now, expressing yourself. That's something that a lot of people don't have nowadays, or they don't feel comfortable because they don't have somebody that they could connect with.
Yeah. And you're such a fantastic example. I think one that I'm going to hold close to myself. I definitely want to share with you, the resources that are available with SUNY. I know Willie said he'd love to have you back on the radio. I've used StreamYard in the past, and shout out to them. They're an amazing supportive company to kind of connect with people digitally. So I really see that you have a talent in talking to people yourself, and I definitely would be supportive. I've had other folks on. I just had Dr. Hermaine Diaz, who is definitely all about identity affirming spaces for youth. And we just had Wilfredo, I think his last name is Rivera, and he's a boxer out in Rochester. So I would love to connect the two of you. If you're not already connected, I'm sure he would love to be able to pitch in. But I think that identity affirming spaces are so needed. Authentic leaders like you are so needed, who are transparent about the things that their unique identities bring to both business and the places that they show up. And then also, I just want to continue to thank you for showing up in both Rochester and making sure that your leadership is regional, because I think a lot of times it's easy easy for us to feel comfortable like in our bubble. But like, I love that you have a presence all over because you are such an authentic leader. This is my last question for you. I know that I didn't tell you that I would ask you, but I used in my former interviewing life, this is actually my second kind of venue practice time, because I, very similarly to you, did not professionally study communications or journalism. But in my past life, Talia, I did have a question with my show with Stephanie, who is my co-host, who now has her own show. But our question always is, what barrio you're from? And you said you're barrio, you're from Rio Piedras. And then the last question I have always to close the show is like, what's your favorite food, your favorite Puerto Rican food to eat when you're home, or to eat at home to remind you of home, for all those babies who transfer in between the cold and the sunny in Puerto Rico and New York?
Hey, Talia, before you answer that question, we're going to let you go. But I need you to let especially the young viewers know, how important are relationships?
Relationships are actually probably the most important, because even when those relationships that you don't find significant are the ones that when when you're going through something or anything, those are the people that are actually going to be there for you.
Right.
Those people that, that actually take the time to ask you, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And everything. They're actually, they want to know. They're there to help. Not everybody. You can't trust anybody, everybody either.
Absolutely.
So, you have to know, also, have, a good feeling of who you're talking to and telling your business to as well. But at the same time, like, there's people authentically there that are, that want to just hear you. I might not be able to provide you with any help or give you what you need, but at least I might know somebody, or I'm there to listen to you. That way you could at least talk about what it is that you're feeling.
Yeah, and that's so important. I think that the power of referral is a very powerful thing.
It is.
And I always say, like, the people that you do business with sometimes says more about your business than your business does. So I'm just so grateful to be in your professional network to the extent that you want to come back and interview with us. Right? I would love to have you in studio. I know Willie is going to be sharing your music and to have you on his show. So definitely make sure to connect with him. And I'm very proud of him and being in network with you, Willie. So as we close the show, dime, what is your favorite food? Because mine is mofongo de camarones, and I eat rice and beans and salad.
Yeah. So
Stop playing with me.
I have to cook for everybody, so everybody in my house wants arroz con gandules,
Okay.
carne guisada. But when I go to Puerto Rico, the first thing I want is seafood. So camarones al ajillo, like with tostones, and carrucho, octopus, and stuff like that. That's my favorite.
I got food. I got food and eating octopus. Somebody gave me, this was a Haitian day. Somebody gave me the food. I ate it up, and they said, "Do you like octopus?" I'm like, "No, I don't like octopus." Well, you just ate that and you cleaned the plate.
That's the thing too. It's just like, even when I'm growing up, like, my parents used to give us morcilla.
Okay.
Like, as an adult, when they told me what it was, I'm like, ew. But I actually do like it.
My grandma tricked me into eating goat, and I was like, okay with your añaco self. Like, I'm done. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not, because my grandma's from the campo. Ella un nena de la campo. Oh, come esto. I was like, but when I was in college, and I used to go see her every Sunday, but you to me bring so much of why I love the Puerto Rican culture, like, to the forefront. You just have this beautiful energy, and I just want to continue to thank you for being authentic and literally for sharing yourself here, because I feel very motivated. I have the privilege to listen back to our interviews because they're shared on 91.3 FM WBNY on the Facebook, and Willie also shares them to YouTube for us. Right. So I'll make sure to share it with you, but I know that I'm going to revisit this interview when I need inspiration. So thank you for sharing, like, your story with us. And for everybody who's listening on campus, who we're welcoming to campus, because that's a process and we still have space. Our president just said that on LinkedIn, we still have space. SUNY is always there for you. Listen and follow you. So when you close the show, can you just drop your handles and remind everybody where they can follow you? And we'll make sure to look out for your single and for your appearance on Willie's show, which I know should happen soon. I'm really, really excited to meet you and to have spent time with you.
Likewise. So, and my Instagram right now, I don't really have an artist one, so you could follow my regular. It's Talia Pabon. It's open. And I do go by Talia M. So THALIM and M. And actually, Talia, my name is going to be, I'm going to actually drop as my artist name the H. That way people would actually call me Talia, not call me Talia.
Right.
So my name's going to be, for my artist name is going to be spelled just like yours moving forward when I drop my single.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So again, hopefully in mid-September, and the song will be streaming the Yo Soy Latina in all social platforms. I do actually have a collaborative song that is on Instagram. It's called Es Que No Puedo, and that's with Andiel, which is one of the singers that in my band as well. So we do have, this is going to be my first solo song, but I do have actually have another song with Jesse Pabon. He's actually from Buffalo, New York.
Cool. Oh yeah,
So
I've heard of him
did
before.
a single with him. That was actually my first single, and it's called Adoro. It's a cover song. That's also on YouTube, and it's under La Crema, Jesse Pabon featuring Talia.
Okay, fantastic. What we'll do is we'll drop the links underneath. And thank you to your brother, to all the band members, to the nonprofit, for everybody who's helped you share your artistry, because your artistry has impacted me positively, both in this space and on social media where I first was connected with you. So I'm grateful for everyone, and I'm really, really excited to be your fan. And listen in and check out our YouTube, because I will be dropping those links for your music.
Yeah, so thank you. And same with you, Talia. Keep up doing a good job. I follow you. You're an inspirational young Latina woman
Thank
as well. And I'm really proud of you, and it's a pleasure to follow you as well. Your story, keep on pushing. You don't see a lot of Latinas pushing and trying to condemn other Latinas, and something that you should feel proud of yourself as well.
Very, very
Thank
proud.
you. I really appreciate it. That's another Talia Talks. Happy Friday morning, everybody. On that one.
Latinas make history every day. Okay.
Can you read it for me?
Well, how do you say this one?
Latinas.
Latinas make history every day. Okay.